Just is Netanyahu, it's been said that Netanyahu is acting rationally throughout all of
Acting
this.
rationally or irrationally?
That he's being rational.
That he's being rational.
Yeah, but he's, you know,
Okay. Well, I mean, I've said, obviously, that Netanyahu is a psycho because he's a psycho. That doesn't necessarily contradict with him being rational. But also being rational is not the same thing as being intelligent, and it's not the same thing as being informed. It's not the same thing as understanding. But within a certain framework, within a certain paradigm, within Netanyahu's paradigm, he's making what seem to be rational decisions for him, for his paradigm. But his paradigm is obsolete. And it's been very clear by every statement that he's ever made from before and since October 7th, like when he addressed the Congress and so forth. It's very clear that he still operates in the paradigm of the 1990s. And where he thinks that Israel still has the same role and the same function that it had in the 1990s or the 1980s or even the early 2000s. He thinks that the world has not changed and the global power dynamics have not changed and that the neocons still run the world, that there is no A national OCGFC, that the GCC itself isn't rising, that BRICS isn't rising, and so forth. So he's completely out of touch with current modern day reality. And the extent to which, for example, it's unbelievable to me that he could possibly not clock the fact that Tel Aviv is getting bombed every day, and no one is doing anything about it from his so-called allies. That Washington, that America is just letting it happen, and that isn't waking him up to the reality that the power dynamics have shifted, and that Israel's importance, previous importance to America, is expired. But he operates in an obsolete paradigm, and when that paradigm was not obsolete, you could say that he made rational decisions, which is not to say that they were moral decisions, which is not to say that they were right decisions or righteous decisions or legal decisions, but within the paradigm that he operated in and that Zionism has operated in and that the Israeli government has operated in for the last 8 decades, that was rational. Again, you have to differentiate between someone being rational or making rational decisions and that they make the right decisions, they make moral decisions, and they make intelligent decisions. For example, you could say that Abu Jahl was a very rational man. Abu Jahl made rational decisions. Who is this coming along saying he's a prophet and is dividing people and is this and that, and this is our heritage, this is our culture? So he's making rational decisions according to his completely wrong paradigm. Your paradigm is unrelated to the truth. And ultimately, immoral decisions, when you're a Muslim, we understand that immoral decisions are not ultimately rational. You're bringing punishment upon yourself. You're bringing failure upon yourself. You're bringing defeat upon yourself. So it's not really possible to separate morality from rationality. You can say that, as I said, people make rational decisions within paradigms, within frameworks, but you have to then objectively look at the rationality of the framework in which they operate. And Zionism overall has never operated within a rational framework. Colonization never operated within a rational framework. The idea that people from another place can come to another place and take over that place indefinitely and permanently, that's irrational. And that you can treat people any kind of way and it never have any blowback, never have any repercussions, never have any consequences. This is irrational. But within your paradigm, it's all rational. It all makes sense to you. But essentially, you are operating within an irrational paradigm. You're operating within an irrational framework of understanding the world and your place in the world and what will work and what will not work. Now, on the other hand, the other side about Netanyahu is that he's making a very rational decision in terms of what he thinks he has to do according to the very limited options that he has for maintaining his freedom from imprisonment. Not just maintaining his political career, but staying on this side of the prison bars. He doesn't want to be convicted, and he's going to be convicted of multiple cases in Israel. We're not talking about the ICC.
Yeah.
And he's probably trying to. The best scenario for Netanyahu, not that any of us want the best scenario for Netanyahu, but the best scenario for Netanyahu would be for him to negotiate his departure from Israel and safe haven in a third country that will not extradite him to Israel or to the ICC. And that's probably what he's negotiating somewhere behind the scenes. But I think that, like, in terms of his attacking Iran, this is where I've said that I think that his predictable behavior is being manipulated, because we all understand, the OCGFC understand, the GCC, the Arabs certainly understand better than anyone. All of the Arabs and the Muslims in the region understand better than anyone what his predictable behavior is. And we all understand what paradigm he's operating within, which is the idea that my job is to destabilize endlessly. My job is to always create conflict. My job is to always go to war. My job is to always attack everyone in the region and so forth. And I have always been rewarded for that by the United States. Now he's not being rewarded for that, but he's not clocking that. Because he's operating on he has an old operating system. He hasn't had an update. So I think that his predictable behavior has been manipulated to where he has been encouraged and given more or less the green light to do what he's doing against Iran, but not with him knowing the real function of that.